Good morning, students. This is Arnav. This is PBW Varangal. In today's class, I am going to explain about work energy theorem and law of conservation of energy. Let us discuss these two laws, the statements of these two laws, and we will verify, we will prove work energy theorem, and we will verify the law of conservation of energy in case of a freely falling body. First of all, work energy theorem. So work and energy, these two are interrelated. Work can be converted into energy, and energy is can be converted into work. That's why the amount of work done is stored as energy for the objects, and the amount of energy used by the object is equal to the work done by the work done by those objects. Okay, that is why the units and dimension formulas for work and energy are also same. So in this work energy theorem, we discuss how much of work is equal to how much of energy. So let us discuss. Let me give the statement of work energy theorem. So work energy theorem says that when a force is applied on a body, that force will do some work on that body. After applying some force, there will be change in the velocity of the body. That means initially there is some velocity for that object. After applying force for some time, the velocity will be different. Okay, that means velocity is changed. That means the kinetic energy is changed. Okay, work energy theorem says the work done by the body on that object is equal to the change in its kinetic energy. So we can state work energy theorem as the work done by the sum of all forces acting on a particle. So this definition is for this definition suited when a number of forces are acting on a body. When the number of forces are acting on a body, then the resultant of all those forces is called net force. Okay, many forces may act on a body, but we have to take into consideration that the sum of all the forces, or the net force acting on the body. So this statement says the work done by net force acting on a particle or a body equals the change in its kinetic energy, the change in the kinetic energy of the particle. Work done by the sum of all the forces means resultant of all the forces, vector sum, that is. So the work done by the resultant of all the forces is equal to the change in kinetic energy, right? So from that, what can we say? Let the work done by the body is W, and when a force is applied on the body, the velocity is changed. The velocity is changed to from v to v. Okay, now the initial kinetic energy of the body is of mu square. We know the formula for kinetic energy, that is of into mass into velocity square. So therefore the initial kinetic energy of the body is of mu square, and the final kinetic energy of the body is of mv square. So what is the change in kinetic energy? That is represented by delta k. K is kinetic energy, delta is difference. Okay, so what is the change in kinetic energy? Of m, final kinetic energy of mv square minus initial kinetic energy of mu square. This is the work done by the force, applied force, or work done by the net force acting on the body, work done by the net force acting on the body. So this is the statement. Okay, in some situations we can call it as work kinetic energy theorem. So it has simple statement. Let me tell once. When work is done by a net force on an object and the only change in the object is its speed, so that means if we apply a force or some forces are acting on a body, so the resultant of those forces are called net force. So the net force, the work done by the net force, the work is done by the net force. Okay, some work is done and the change is only in speed. If the change is only in speed, only speed is changed, that means velocity is changed, speed is changed, then what the work done is equal to the change in kinetic energy. Therefore work done, net work is equal to initial kinetic energy minus final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. So in this case, if the velocity is increased, the speed is increased, then the work is added to the object. The work is added to the object as energy. Okay, that means work done is positive. If the velocity is decreased, speed is decreased, that means the applied force is in opposite direction to the motion of the body. In that case, the velocity decreases. That means in that case, the work done by the body decreases its kinetic energy. Okay, so the work is negative, right? So this is work kinetic energy theorem. So let me prove the work energy theorem. Let us prove the work energy theorem. Consider an object of mass m initially moving with a velocity, initial velocity u in rightward direction. Okay, look at the picture. An object of mass m, a body of mass m is moving with initial velocity u. At that instant, at a moment, a force F is applied on the body. Then what will a force do? A force tries to change the state of an object, state of the body. That means it changes the velocity of the body. Okay, so after applying the force, the velocity of the body gradually changes with an acceleration a. Okay, so now the body possesses an acceleration a due to the application of the force. After applying the force, it possesses an acceleration a. So what is acceleration? Change in velocity per unit time. Okay, after traveling some distance s, or after having a displacement s, its velocity is v. The final velocity after traveling a distance s, the final velocity is v. So the initial velocity of the object is u. After applying the force and traveling after some distance s, its velocity became v. Now what is the work done by the force on the body? So we, according to work energy theorem, the work done on the body is equal to change in kinetic energy. We have to prove this. So now first of all, let us find the work done on the body. So what is the formula for work done? Work done by a force is, work done is equal to force into displacement. Okay, so we know the force is F and the displacement is S. Okay, right. And according to Newton's second law of motion, F is equal to ma. Applied force F is equal to ma. So the work done is equal to ma Yes, but we can replace s by some other term. Okay, so let us find that. According to equations of motion, equations of kinematics, we have v square minus u square is equal to 2as. From that we can write s is equal to v square minus u square by 2a. Okay, v square minus u square by 2a, right? And by Newton's second law of motion, F is equal to ma. So from equation 1 and 2 we can write work done is equal to Fs, F is ma and S is v square minus u square by 2a. From that we can write W is equal to work done is equal to half mv square minus half mu square. But half mv square is where v is final velocity and u is initial velocity. Therefore, half mv square is final kinetic energy and half mv square is equal to initial kinetic energy. Therefore, the work done is equal to final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. That is nothing but change in kinetic energy. So hence we can conclude that the work done on the body by a applied force or net force is equal to change in its kinetic energy. So this is the proof. Okay, so look at this proof once again. Consider a body of mass m moving with initial velocity u in a particular direction. Okay, so now a force F is applied on the body. A force F is applied on the body. After applying the body, the force will do some work on the body and the velocity of the body gradually changes with an acceleration a. If we apply a force, then there will be an acceleration to the object and acceleration will be possessed by the object. So due to F applied force, acceleration a is gained by the object. Okay, so due to this acceleration, after traveling a distance s, the velocity of the object is changed to v. So initial velocity is u, final velocity is v. Now let us find the work done by the force on the object. Work done is F into S. Okay, first of all we find the displacement of the body according to equations of motion. V square minus u square equal to s. From that we can write s is equal to v square minus u square by 2a, and by the Newton's third law of motion, second law of motion, F is equal to ma. So let us substitute these two equations in W is equal to Fs. After that, after simplifying, we get W is equal to half mv square minus half mu square, that is work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. So this is the statement of the work energy theorem and we have proved that. Okay, right. So let us solve one example problem on work energy theorem. Let us read that. Let me read the problem. A force is applied on a 5 kg object which is moving with 5 meters per second velocity. So an object of mass 5 kg is moving with a velocity 5 meters per second. Okay, on that object a force is applied. So due to that force, after some time its velocity is 10 meters per second. So after applying the force, obviously its velocity changes. So after some time the velocity of the object became 10 meter per second. Initially it is 5 meter per second, now it is 10 meter per second. Then find the work done by the force on the body. So find the work done by the body, work done by the force on that body. How can you find? Okay, so according to work energy theorem, What is work energy theorem? Work done is nothing but change in kinetic energy, simply change in kinetic energy. That means final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy. So what is final kinetic energy? Of mv square. What is initial kinetic energy? Of mu square. Just substitute the values in that equations. Mass is 5 kg, initial velocity is 5 meters per second, final velocity is 10 meters per second. So work done is equal to half mv square minus half mu square. Okay, so that is half into 5 into v square is 10 square minus u square is 5 square. So from that we get 375 by 2, that is 187.5 joules. This is the work done by the force, and this is equal to change in kinetic energy. Okay, so this is the problem about kinetic energy. Okay, work energy theorem. And the next topic is law of conservation of energy. So what is conservation? Conservation means, okay, so let me explain law of conservation of energy. Right, so we know there are many forms of energies. Okay, and we also know that one form of energy can be converted into another form. That means electrical energy is converted into kinetic energy, and heat energy, light energy, like that, and mechanical energy or kinetic energy can be converted into electrical energy, magnetic energy, like that. Okay, and one more thing is here, the electricity we are getting from the power stations are not created there. That is not created by those electricity people, engineers. That is, at the power stations they can only do that another form of energy is converting into electrical energy. In thermal power station, heat energy is converted into first kinetic energy, and then it is converted into electrical energy. In hydropower stations, the kinetic energy of the water is converted into electrical energy, like that. They are converting energy into one type of energy into electrical energy, that's all. But they are not creating, or we are not destroying the energy. In our houses we are using that electrical energy but not destroying. The electrical energy is converting into light energy or kinetic energy. After that it is dissipated into environment. Okay, so the energy here is not created by us and not destroyed by us. Here we are doing only one thing, that is one form of energy is converted into another form of energy. So this is the conservation of energy. This is the this is the statement for law of conservation of energy. So let me give an exact statement of energy. So what we know so far now, energy cannot be created and energy cannot be destroyed, but we can convert one form of energy into another form, that's it. Okay, so but the total energy in the universe remains constant always the total energy remains constant. Okay, or the total energy of an isolated system is always constant. This is the statement of law of conservation of energy. So let me give the statement. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed, but it can be transformed from one form of energy into another form. Thus, in any isolated or closed system, the sum of all forms of energy remains constant. An isolated system means which is isolated from its surroundings. Any energy cannot be transferred to that system, and any energy cannot be drawn from the down from that system. That is called isolated system. For an isolated system, the total energy remains constant. The isolated system energy is always constant, but inside the system, one form of the energy can be converted into another form. Here, the universe is a system, or universe is a system. Inside the universe, one form of light energy is converted into electrical energy, or electrical energy converted into light energy, but the total energy of the system is constant. Okay, so let me give some examples for law of conservation of energy. First thing, freely falling body. So do you know what is freely falling body? So when an object is dropped from a certain height, dropping means the initial velocity of the body should be 0. After from a certain height, we are just dropping the body, that is called freely falling body. So at the top of the building, from the top of the building, let us, we are dropping a ball. So at the top of the building, the velocity of the ball is 0, that means the kinetic energy is 0. At that position, the ball possesses only potential energy. After dropping, it travels towards the earth surface, that means it travels in downward direction. In that journey, its velocity gradually increases and the height from the surface gradually decreases. So due to the increase in velocity, its kinetic energy increases. From where it gets kinetic energy, it is not getting from anywhere. Its potential energy is gradually converting into kinetic energy. The height of the body, height from the surface, gradually decreases. That means potential energy decreases, and the decreased potential energy gets converted into kinetic energy. So potential energy gradually decreases and the kinetic energy gradually increases. On the surface of the earth, the potential energy becomes 0 because the height from the surface is 0. At that position, the velocity of the object is maximum. So therefore, kinetic energy of the object is also maximum. At this point, all the potential energy of the ball gets converted into the kinetic energy. So this is one example of law of conservation of energy. Okay, and electrical energy in our daily life, you will see we use electric energy in many situations to switch on the fan, lights, TVs, washing machines, refrigerators. For all these purposes, or in factories, industries, we use electrical energy to convert it. Electrical energies can be converted into many forms of energies. Because of fan, electrical energy is converted into kinetic energy. Okay, kinetic energy of the blades of the fan, or then from those blades the molecules of the air gets accelerated, or the kinetic energy is given to the molecules. And an iron box converts the electrical energy into heat energy. A lamp converts the electrical energy into light energy, like that. Okay, and in the power stations, the hydropower station, water falls from the dam. Okay, so at the highest point, the water possesses potential energy. After when they are falling, the potential energy gets converted into kinetic energy. After that, these water are made to fall on the turbine. So those water rotates the turbine to generate electricity. So kinetic energy is converted into electricity. So in this process, the potential energy of water in a dam can be turned into kinetic energy, which can then become electrical energy. So this is the conversion of one form of energy into another form, but the total energy of the system or universe remains constant. So this is the statement and examples for law of conservation of energy. So let us verify this law of conservation of energy in the case of freely falling body. Verification means, so there is a statement of law of conservation of energy. Let me check whether it is true or not. Let us check. Okay, so let us check the statement or law of conservation of energy in case of freely falling body. So what is freely falling body? A body which is dropped from certain height is a freely falling body. So the initial velocity of the body should be is equal to 0. So let us consider an object of mass m is dropped from a building of height h. There is a building of height h. From the top of the building, an object of mass m is dropped. Okay, so dropped. So its initial velocity is 0. So after dropping, it travels in downward direction with increasing velocity, and finally it reaches the surface of the earth. Okay, so in this case we have to prove that the total energy of the object is same at all points in the path. In its path, at all points, the total energy of the object should be same. Then only we can say that the law of conservation of energy is true. But we cannot check for all the points. That's why let us choose 3 different points on the path of the object. They are A, B and C. So where A is the topmost point at the top of the building, C is the point on the surface of the earth, and B is an in between A and C, a point in between A and C. So the height A is at a height small h from the surface of the earth. C is on the surface of the earth, therefore height is 0, and B is at a distance x from the top of the building. That means the height from the surface of the earth is h minus x. Okay, so let us check. Let us find the total energy at all 3 points. If the total energy at these 3 points is same, then the law of conservation of energy is proved. Let us check. So at A, so what is it is a body of mass m is falling freely from the top of a tower. It travels through a height distance h and reaches the surface of the earth. Now we have to prove that the total energy of the object remains constant during its journey, but one form of the journey can be is converted into another form. One form is converted into another form. Okay, let us consider 3 points A, B and C on its path, where A is at top of the building, C is on the ground, and B is between A and C. So at point A, let us find the total energy. Total energy means, in this case, the object has only 2 energies, that is kinetic energy and potential energy. So the sum of all the energy possessed by the body is called total energy. In this case, the total energy is kinetic energy plus potential energy. So to find the total energy, we have to find the kinetic energy of the object and potential energy of the object. Let us find these two first. So the body is at a height h. At point A, the body is at a height h. Therefore, potential energy of the body is mgh. And at the top of the building, the velocity of the object is 0. Hence, the kinetic energy is 0. So the total energy is potential energy plus kinetic energy. that is mgh plus 0, that is mgh. So the total energy at point A is mgh. Let it be equation number 1. Now let us find at point B. At point B, the height from the surface of the earth is h minus x, because after traveling a distance x from the point A, the object reached point B. So the distance between point A and B is x. Hence the height from the surface of the earth is h minus x. So height is h minus x. So therefore potential energy at point B is mg into h minus x. Now let us find the kinetic energy. Let the initial velocity of the body is 0. At point A, the initial velocity is 0. Okay. After traveling some distance x, with its velocity gradually increases, and after traveling some distance x, it reaches B. At the point B, let the velocity of the object is Vb. So therefore kinetic energy is half into m into Vb square. But what? Let us find the value of velocity at point B. So we know the initial velocity at point A is 0, final velocity is Vb, and the acceleration of the body is equal to acceleration due to gravity. So therefore acceleration A is equal to g. From b square minus u square is equal to 2as. Here Vb is final velocity, v is final velocity Vb, u is initial velocity 0 into is equal to 2 into a, acceleration is equal to g, and s, displacement, is equal to x. So if we substitute all these things, we get Vb square is equal to 2g square, 2gx. Okay, so substitute Vb square value in half m Vb square. So that is kinetic energy is half into m into Vb square is equal to 2gx. Half and 2 gets cancelled, so then the remaining is mgx. So the kinetic energy at point B is mgx. Now let us find total energy at B. Total energy at B is equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy. So mg into h minus x plus mgx, that gives mgh. So total energy at point B is equal to mgh. Let it be equation number 2. And the remaining only point is C. Let us find the total energy at point C. So at point C, the point C is on the surface of the earth. That means height equal to 0. What happens if the height equal to 0? The potential energy becomes 0. So potential energy at point C is equal to 0. Now let the velocity of the object at point C is v. Then the kinetic energy is equal to half m v square. Okay, or half m vc square. Let the velocity of the object at point C is on the surface is vc. Then kinetic energy is equal to half m vc square. So let us find the value of vc square now. So similarly as we did in the case of point B, what did we do there? The initial velocity is considered as 0, acceleration A is equal to g, and final velocity is Vb. Similarly here also the initial velocity of the object when it started its journey at point A, the velocity is equal to 0, initial velocity. Acceleration A is equal to plus g, acceleration due to gravity. And the displacement of the object becomes h here, because the object reached the surface of earth from the top of the building. Now the building height of the building is h, hence the distance traveled by the object is h. So therefore displacement equal to x. Now the velocity From the equations of kinematics, we know v square minus u square equal to 2as. After substituting v square as vc square, u square as 0, and a as g and s as h, we get vc square is equal to 2gh. So substitute vc square value in kinetic energy equation. So therefore kinetic energy is equal to half into m into 2gh. 2 gets cancelled, hence the kinetic energy becomes mgh. So we determine potential and the kinetic energies. Now the total energy at C is equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy, that is 0 plus mgh. I have written mgx there, but that is mgh, sorry. So the total energy at point C is equal to mgh. Let it be equation number 3. So if we observe all these three equations 1, 2 and 3, the total energy at point A, point B and point C is same. Okay, the total energy is not changed, it remained constant. But what happened there? At point C, the object only possesses potential energy. The kinetic energy is equal to 0. After traveling some distance, some of the potential energies gets converted into kinetic energy. That means potential energy is decreased, kinetic energy is increased. After reaching the surface of the earth, all the total potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. Now the potential energy is equal to 0 and the kinetic energy is the only energy possessed by the body is kinetic energy. This kinetic energy is equal to the potential energy of the body at point A. Hence the potential energy of the body is completely converted into kinetic energy, but the total energy of the body remained constant. Hence from these three equations we can conclude that total energy of a system remained constant, but one form of the energy can be converted into another form. So we have verified law of conservation of energy in case of freely falling body. Okay, so let us discuss a problem, let us solve a problem by using law of conservation of energy. Let me read the problem. A body of mass 5 kg is dropped from a height 20 meters from the surface. A body of mass 5 kg is dropped from a height 20 meters from the surface. So a body of 5 kg is raised to the 20 meters of height from the surface and it is dropped. Now find its kinetic energy on reaching the surface of the earth by applying law of conservation of energy. So now we have to find the kinetic energy of the body on reaching earth. On reaching earth means the height becomes 0 and the velocity becomes maximum. That means, okay, it understood? We have to find the kinetic energy of the body on reaching earth by applying law of conservation of energy only. So what is law of conservation of energy? In case of really falling body, the potential energy at highest point is completely converted into kinetic energy at the lowest point. Yes or no? So now we have to find the kinetic energy of the body at lowest point. So this is equal to the potential energy of the body at highest point. So if we find the potential energy of the body at a height of 20 meters, that is equal to kinetic energy of the body on the surface of the earth. Okay, let us find potential at highest point. What is potential energy? mgh. What is m? Mass 5 kg, gravitational. So in the problem they gave g equal to 10 meters per second square, so therefore g equal to 10 and height is equal to 20. So the potential energy at the highest point is 1000 joules. So now the kinetic energy at the lowest point is also equal to 1000 joules. So this is the answer. So let me rewind one more time. Law of conservation of energy. So what is the statement? Energy cannot be created, neither energy can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be transformed from one form of the energy to another form. But the total energy of the universe remain constant. This is the statement of the law of conservation of energy. So these are some examples in which one form of energy is converted into another form. Okay, so we can prove that in free link for any case, but in this case it is very easy to prove in case of freely falling body, in which a body of mass m is dropped from a height h. So in its path, let us choose 3 points A, B, C, and at these 3 points we have to prove the total energy is same at all these 3 points. Okay, so applying at point A, we get potential energy is highest mgh, kinetic energy is 0, so the total energy is mgh. At point B, some of the potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. That means potential energy is decreased to mg into h minus x because height is decreased by x. And this at this point B, the body possesses some velocity vb, so therefore half mvb square is kinetic energy. So by finding vb square value and after substituting that value in kinetic energy equation, we get kinetic energy as mgx. So now the total energy is potential energy plus kinetic energy, that gives mgh. The total energy at B is mgh. In the same way, the total energy at C is also mgh, equation number 3. So after observing those three, looking at those three equations, we can say that total energy at these 3 points or all the points on the path is equal to mgh, but the potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. Total energy is remained constant. So hence law of conservation law is verified. Okay, so this is the problem.